Cooper Temple Claws. Who needs enemies? Good question, lads. Nobody. This is XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Oh, they should print a little book of those. They're great. Oh, how you can relate any song or artist to anything else.
Easy.
Joyful.
Easy. Well, yeah, so, me and Karl went out, for a beer, and it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, enjoyed myself.
We started off,
good.
and you met my mate, Robin, didn't you?
Yeah.
And, some of the stories. Do you want to tell Steve some things about Robin that you
Robin,
know?
do you know him well?
Yes.
Well, do you know about his worm problem as a kid?
Go on.
Right. What I can remember is he had worms as a kid. Not sure how you get him, he never answered me, he was getting a bit touchy about it.
Right.
This is like the second time I met him, and I think he was a bit annoyed that Ricky told me about his problem.
What now? Now straight away, you not being there, instinctively, what do you think went on with this story about worms?
My suspicion
Yeah.
is rather like when you told a group of people that Robin had once suckled milk from a cow's udder.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he mention that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. My suspicion is that, like the cow story, the worm story is not true.
But
And
why would he get so sort of uppity about it?
Well,
Because it's not true.
imagine if that wasn't the first time he'd done it. Imagine if he did that every single time he was with somebody for the first time and Robin was, just met them. He will tell that story to anyone.
But they do say there's no smoke without fire.
Oh, Robin! I also told him...
That's a fable.
I also told him that the way Robin cured these worms was because the doctor told his mother, right, to hold a piece of ham or cheese near Robin's anus so the worms would come out for the food, and he believed it.
I'll tell you why, though.
I said to Robin used to sit on spam to try and get the worms out, and he believed it.
But Steve, right, do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago, where there was some bloke in the army? He went away to somewhere, Vietnam or whatever. He was messing about in the woods.
Messing about in the woods?
Shouldn't he have been fighting?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and he walked through some lake, and I think he'd cut his toe or something on something, and some worm of some sort crawled in the gash.
Yeah.
And, it was in his body, and the doctor said, we've got to get this out of your body. So, what they did was, they said, right, the thinnest part of something, of your body that things can crawl through, is on the top of your head. So they wrapped
Where the skull is.
So they wrapped some bacon.
No, they didn't!
They did. That's
right. So
everyone...
he's gone in via the toe. So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
There was a reason for it. And it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
As ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Karl seems to have forgotten.
Because the worm was in his body, and they said everyone likes to smell the bacon.
Including worms.
Again, even a Vietnamese lake worm. They love bacon.
Remember last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No.
Please.
No. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little fella.
You're changing it now. You weren't having any of it last week.
Right, hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of a soldier.
A little, like, maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the body, they strapped bacon to his head.
Yeah.
That is great. This doctor.
And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling.
Oh, God, what, the worm or the bloke?
The bloke.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, I hope someone knows the story.
Right.
It was about 3 years ago, I reckon.
Okay.
And, yeah, it did work.
GI bacon.
So this is why
so what, the worm burrowed out of his head to get the bacon?
Get to the bacon.
Right. That's great.
So this is why when Robin was telling his story, I was a little bit disappointed if it wasn't true.
Right.
Because in a way...
You know Robin's never been to Vietnam.
No, but what do you really think that Robin, well, as Robin said at the time, Karl, why would I sit on ham, then tell Ricky Gervais? It's a very good point.
Because if he was a kid, you do daft things like that as a kid.
Right.
He is the telling Ricky Gervais, though.
Yeah. And then, oh, bless him.
Okay.
And then anyway, Robin left, and, I tried to chase him, but he got away, and he knows that and then we had a few pints, and then, Karl embarked on some of the greatest stories ever told. Can you tell the story about your dad?
Let me run it. I haven't spoke to him all week, so let me run it by him.
Okay, play records.
Because, you know.
What we got?
We've got, one of Steve's.
Yeah, well, bizarrely enough, this comes from the, Teachers 2 soundtrack, the soundtrack to the current TV series. There's a slight whiff of nepotism in the air.
Yeah.
Rick, would you like to explain why?
Well, that's why you're doing it, though my girlfriend, worked on it. But,
Yeah.
you were gonna play this anyway, weren't you?
Well, I was, actually. Bizarrely enough, I was gonna play some I Am Clute, and, this is from, as I say, the Teachers soundtrack. This is called To You. It's a good track. A track called To You from the, Teachers soundtrack. That's also got, I noticed the Electric Soft Parade, The Hives, Star Sailor, Feeder, Turin Breaks, Mercury Rev on there. It's a good little collection.
Lovely. Karl, has just had confirmation. He's looking smug because someone phoned up and went, it is true, it's a Laogai chi worm and you wrap bacon around your head. That's all the bloke knew as well.
Yeah.
And his name was Gary.
Yeah.
So I'm not having it.
No.
And he said, see, that's why the Robin thing isn't so weird. He said, but when you said he tried it with cheese, he said I was having none of it. Strokes, hard to explain. Like Karl, really?
Yes. Yes.
So, Karl, concentrate.
You go on.
So, we'll leave the worm with the bacon wrapped round the head, shall we?
Well, if you're ever caught in the jungle,
Yeah. Always carry some...
bit of Danish.
Good advice.
Lovely. So, would you like to start on your, to Steve, because I've heard all these.
Well, we won't do them all.
Well, we'll start off with the Mr. Freeze. Tell Steve the story of Mr. Freeze. This is the first time he nearly died.
This is the most serious of the lot, really. So, what it was, do you know, like, I don't know if your mum and dad did the same thing, but, like, they do the weekly shopping on like a Friday.
Yeah.
So when you got to Thursday, there wouldn't be much stuff left in the cupboard. It'd just be like, you know, your Jacob's crackers and stuff like that. So when they'd been to the supermarket and they came back, I was like, you know, what's that saying? Like a pig in... You know, I loved it. It was like loads of food coming in, loads of biscuits.
What is that saying?
He nearly said pig in shit.
Right.
Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, all this food comes in.
Thank God he didn't.
Otherwise he'd have been in trouble.
That's true enough.
Because he's culpable for our actions, because
Exactly.
he's the producer. So technically, that twat's in charge. Go on.
Right, so anyway, so there's loads of food, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this, and chocolate biscuits, and, you know, penguins and stuff.
Bacon.
And bacon.
Just in case, you never know.
So anyway, my mum and dad's putting the food away. Me and our kid are like, he's already grabbed something, gone back upstairs.
It's like feral children. it's like a quest for fire. And then they run upstairs. What did he just sit under the bed, gnawing at some sort of pig's trotter?
So I saw, do you remember Mr. Freeze Pops?
I do, yes. Well, they're kind of like popsicles, icicles.
Yeah, but really long, like a foot long, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll have one of them, so I grabbed it.
Went for the nutritious stuff first.
Absolutely.
And like my mum and dad are putting this stuff away and what have you. And I rip it open and knock it back, right? Straight away, just right back like
Swallow
that.
it,
Right,
yeah.
But it went down the wrong way, right? So I
What,
was
down
like,
your shirt?
So I was like, oh god, I can't breathe. And my mum and dad didn't even know what I'd ate. Do you know what I mean? I ate it so quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of tapping my mum on the back, going, and she's going, oh god, you know, he's choking again, because I was always choking. If it was one thing, I don't know if I've got like a small throat, but I mean, even Ricky knows I can't drink that much, can I?
Yeah.
Do you know,
or eat pebbles.
I'm not a quick drinker. I'd always, I think I'm scared of like swallowing stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like bottle tops and mint imperials and stuff. I was always choking on stuff. So anyway, she's going, oh god, what's he picked up on it now?
Drop it!
So-
And she hit his nose with a stick.
So I was going, oh, I'm choking. At this point, my dad had like, I think he'd put his share away, you know, his food away, and he'd gone.
His share! I love it!
Yeah.
He'd gone to watch like Winner Takes All or whatever in the lounge, and I was in the kitchen, and I was starting to like I didn't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? I just got to that point where I wasn't struggling anymore.
You just thought, I'm done
I just
for.
was like falling to the ground. And my mum's going, you know, get in here, I think it's serious. And my dad comes in and sort of starts shouting at me, saying that's what you get for being greedy. He didn't even know what I'd eaten.
Well, it was the moment to teach you a lesson, certainly.
So he's there like that, and my mum's going, oh, look at him, and my lips were going purple, and my eyes were rolling into the back of my head.
You look like Marilyn Manson.
And, so anyway, she grabbed me from behind and did that fireman thing.
The Heimlich manoeuvre.
Yeah. And, you know, winded me. And it came up, and I was alright.
What, the whole popsicle came flying back out?
You see, that's what I don't understand. Because there was nothing there.
No, just a little bit. No, it swells up, doesn't it? Because it irritated it, so it went down your sort of like your epiglottis. It went down the wrong way, like it went into your air canal instead of your throat, and it sort of sort of spasms, and that's the fear. You just got to calm it down and relax.
So in time, I would have been alright.
Yeah,
anyway.
you don't.
Well, no, you might have.
So that's so that's
hang on,
one.
No, but the weird thing is, like, for, like, 3 days after that, I felt like a sort of, special person. I went to school.
I'm saying nothing.
I did full days.
A special needs person.
Yeah.
I went to school the next 3 days after that. I didn't, like, wag it or anything. I did full days.
I love that. 3 days, turn over in a leaf.
Yeah, exactly. After 3 days, you thought, screw it.
Yeah, did a quick history exam.
But have you ever had that, where you've, like, felt like, I've been given another chance here?
Right, next one. That's popsicle. That's popsicle hell, we'll call that. Right, next one.
Which one's the next one?
Oh, what about your paper round?
Right.
Can I ask very quickly, did your life flash before your eyes like they say it did?
No, I just sort of went really calm and like, I'm ready for this now.
Right.
I wasn't bothered, do you know what I mean?
You had no regrets?
No. It was weird. It was really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the paper round one. Paper round, I'd still say it's the best job I've ever had.
And he means it!
No, I really enjoyed it. It's like, you know, you don't have to work with anyone else, right? So you make your own rules.
Just think of that.
You know, you sort of
You're spreading information to people, vital information.
Giving a service, and no one else is around, you know, you can just do what you want and think about stuff whilst you're cycling around on your bike. It's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Imagine the stuff he's thinking about when he's riding around.
I can't. So getting in the head of a salamander.
So anyway, I loved it, and even though I only got like 50p a day, right, no matter what the weather was like and stuff, I used to get up at 4:30 and go and do the round. And
why'd you get up at 4:30?
Because I wanted to watch the Pink Panther at 5:30, so I wanted to get me paper round done.
I said, why didn't you watch the Pink Panther?
And then
he went, oh, I can't sit there thinking I've got my paper round to do.
You'll ruin it for him.
Yeah. So is it a good job or not?
So 4:30 I was up and about, and this morning it was like winter, really bad winter, bad snow, you know, freezing cold, really windy and all that. And my mum said to me before I went to bed, she said, don't be getting up tomorrow, I'll give you the 50p. I said, it's not about the 50p. So, you know, people want the papers and stuff. So,
conscientious.
So anyway, I went to bed thinking, you know, that's it, I've told her I'm still going, so, you know, whatever. Go to sleep, get up in the morning, and put all my kit on. I used to have layers of clothing on because it was really cold. I had like a big anorak on with the fur on. I had like waterproof pants, and I got my paper round bag. And I went downstairs to get out and tried to open the door and it was locked. Oh God, so she'd locked it so I couldn't go out, so I'm searching around the house looking for the keys. She must have hid them somewhere. I thought, oh God, you know, I've got the papers to do. So I thought, how can I get out? So I went upstairs, climbed out of the bathroom window.
God.
Right, and to try and jump out of the bathroom window onto the porch. But the problem was, I had so much gear on, I was like the Michelin Man. So I could hardly move as it is.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get out the window, and I'm like, trying to stretch down like that, get my foot on the porch, and my bag got caught on like the hook of, do you know like how you have a hook so you can put the window open?
Right, yeah,
the little arm goes on. My bag had got caught on that. I was holding onto the wall and my foot on the thing, so I couldn't sort of pull it away in case I pulled it away and then fell on my head.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck there. Dangling. My dad comes back from working nights.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a burglar.
Gets out his gun.
So he's shouting and stuff, going mad and going, Dad, it's me. And he had to give us a hand using a...
He's heard that wily trick in Manchester before.
He had to help me using a washing prop thing. A big stick.
What did he do?
Well, he said, just hold on for your dear life, and I'll sort of push the paper bag off the hook.
Why didn't he go upstairs and sort it out?
It was at that point where I was in the middle, there was nothing you could do, do you know what I mean? It's at that point where you've just got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And by the time you go upstairs, who knows what might have happened.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to act there and then, don't messing around.
Yeah.
So...
And you could hear downstairs, now here he is, the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Dad! Hurry up! Panther, ever so pink! Oh.
So that was close to death, because I must have been about 30 foot in the air.
Yeah.
And I would have, you know, that would have been nasty if I fell to the concrete paving, so...
Well, there's more to come. Should we play a record and come back to this? Because he's got more.
Oh yeah, no, there must be one of them where you did fall on your head. This is the one I'm waiting for. There's gotta be one. That would explain so much.
Yeah.
I nearly broke my back.
Jeez.
Once. My dad said, I bet I can't kick me height. And I said, I bet I can. And,
I don't remember this, you didn't tell me this one.
I bet you can, what?
I was in the garden, summer's day, and it was that era when, like, doing kung fu and all that was really popular.
Sure.
And I was, like, messing about in the garden, punching the tree and stuff. And my dad said...
What a kid he must have been.
My dad said, I bet you can't kick your height.
Kick your height? What, you mean kick as high as yourself?
Yeah, so I must have been, like, 5 foot or something then. And I said, of course I can. So I bet you can't. But instead of doing it on the grass, I did it on, like, the concrete bit. Kicked it, actually did it. I went, there you go. But didn't, like, get my foot down quick enough and land on
you
my back.
paused to say, there, I've done it.
Yeah.
As opposed to putting your foot back on the ground.
And landed on my back, and I'd still get back trouble now.
Do you?
Because they say that, don't they?
So to cut a long story short, he gave me about 4 or 5 near-death experiences, and he went, and the whole point of this, he went, so that's why I think I'm gonna die of something horrible, like cancer. And I went, why? He went, right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
He said, well, I don't check my balls. Right? He said, I don't like the feel.
Carl, always check your balls.
Do you
I
check
don't like the
yours?
feel. Why don't you like the feel of your own balls?
They just... I mean, you know that I don't like bodies anyway.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It worries me a bit that you've got all that going on in your body, right, and your skin's keeping it all in place.
Stop. We're going down a whole other avenue of discussion. Let's play a track, let's come back to it.
Oh, right, I've brought in this, this is, free, you'll know, from the jeans commercial.
Yeah, All Right Now.
Long time ago, All Right Now, yeah. But this is a great little track. This is, My Brother Jack. Stereophonics, Vegas 2 times, XFM 104.9, into last hour.
Yeah.
And then 3 shows to go.
That's true enough.
Till we're off the air. I'm Ricky Gervais.
With him, Steve Merchant.
Carl.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's go on, tell you, we cut short last week, weren't we? You had an amazing story about Neil Armstrong, didn't you?
Well, we've been doing quotes, haven't we, like famous quotes.
Sure.
I've, gone down in history.
Yeah.
And, I was saying, quotes don't really matter. It's more the situation that you're in than the quote itself.
Go on.
So, like, Neil Armstrong, if he'd have said,
tie bacon round your head.
I'm as happy as a pig in dust.
Yeah, that would have still gone down in history as, like, being the thing that Neil Armstrong said, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But...
Space is driven in mental, probably would have been
but he chose to say something profound and meaningful, to befit the situation. He got it wrong, actually. It's, a small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, but he was meant to say...
We discussed this last week, Stop showing off.
Well, no, but people might have listened last week.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I can't imagine people...
we better tell him every week, then.
Yeah, but he said, he should have said, this is one small step for a man.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had a good effort, and that's quite...
And that's an example of what I'm saying. The fact that he got it wrong, but it still went down in history.
Right.
But anyway, the bit that... and it didn't happen anyway, did it?
What do you mean it didn't happen anyway?
That's what a lot of people say. That no one's actually been on the moon.
Ah, yes, of course.
They filmed it in Teddington Studios.
Well, they were saying something about there was shadow on the film, and you wouldn't get shadow on the film, and there's all sorts of things.
These people that you always quote as they...
Who are they?
Are they living in jars? Are they little fellas in jars?
Look,
Go on.
Do
they appear to you in dreams?
I've spoken to different people about it, and there's loads of little things that if you watch that programme, of them being on the moon, there is no way they could have done it.
Right.
Done.
Fine. Yeah.
Done.
Anyway.
That's put to bed.
Yeah.
But anyway, as he was getting back in the spaceship on the moon, or whether it be a TV studio, he said, good luck, Mr. Croucher.
Right.
Have you heard this?
No.
And the reason he said that was because when he was a young kid, and he was I think it was Croucher, but when he was playing as a young kid in his garden, he was playing baseball with his mate, and he chucked the ball to his mate, and his mate hit the ball, and the ball went over the fence to the next door neighbour. Right, so he goes, right, I'll have to snip over and get the ball. And as he was getting the ball, the window was open to his neighbour's house, and he heard, like, the woman shouting at her husband saying, I'm not going to be giving you, a bit rude, so if you've got a kid in the car or whatever, turn it down. What, yeah, that's covered that, yeah. Right,
Genius.
I'm not, no matter how many times you ask me, I'm not going to be giving you oral sex. The day I do that, man would have walked on the moon.
Right, yeah.
He grows up, he gets on the moon, and he remembers all that story, and as he gets back in the spaceship he says, "Good luck, Mr. Croucher."
Now, do you know, I have to say, I've heard that story before, but when I heard it, the woman said, the day I give you a blowjob is the day the boy next door walks on the moon. Which makes it all the more profane.
Impossible.
And enjoyable. Yeah, and unlikely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've heard the same story, Carl.
Yeah.
Look how pleased he is.
I love that.
Right, so not only have you remembered that anecdote, which may or may not be true, but of course you've also proven that,
The day I give you a blowjob, that kid in the garden's probably going to walk on the moon and say something about giant leaps.
Exactly.
But, yeah, you must have heard the thing that it never actually happened.
Yes, we've all heard it. We've all dismissed it as nonsense.
And moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And got on with our lives.
Right, Carl.
What?
Should we do, White Van Man?
Well, you didn't prepare me for that. We better play a track and then I'll, I'll fish out the newspaper and stuff.
This is a good little bootleg track here from, Meats and Poultry here. They've, mixed, A with, Outcast.
Right.
Of course, it's great.
Is it highly illegal?
It is.
So people shouldn't rush to their tape machines now and press play and
Okay, so
record.
whatever you do, don't record this now if you're recording it. Hold on, don't say anything. Well, that bootleg's going under the name of, Nothing, Miss Jackson, I think, by, Meats and Poultry. So there you go.
I do love these bootleg things because they're so pointless, but they're so enjoyable.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's fun to do. Yeah,
exactly.
They're
good fun.
great. But, not as much fun as White Van Carl.
White Van Carl, absolutely. Do you want to explain the premise?
Well, we take the son asks someone else and asks Carl. It's simple as that.
That's
The
that.
son have just taken a normal person, we flipped it. We're gonna ask Carl the same questions about the week's news.
Yeah, just basically your opinions, Carl, as ever. What do you make of, well, obviously the big news, David Beckham's broken foot? Is this a big concern for you?
No, I mean, it's sad, you know, it's sadder for him more than anyone, because, you know, to like, be in the World Cup is like the main thing for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's still a young lad, and, I don't think he'll give up. I reckon he'll still turn up. He'll be alright. And, yeah, good luck to the lad. You know I like David, I'm not gonna slag him off.
What's words?
He says that like he knows him, like he's popping round for drinks later.
Yeah, like we tried to stitch you up. Go on.
But, obviously yesterday, was it yesterday, I think maybe Thursday, the Sun printed a big picture of, David's, foot, and encouraged everyone to touch it at midday, because hoping that this would somehow, if we all thought and prayed together, somehow that would help his foot heal. Do you believe in that?
No.
Any belief in that?
No, you're going down the old, like, Yoragella route, aren't you?
Sure.
And it's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I mean, it's nice effort and everything, it sort of cheers everyone up.
Hold on, you believe in ghosts and warlocks and licking toads. Why is that any more stupid than all those things?
It's not gonna work, is it?
Alright.
Fine.
It's rubbish.
Okay.
Okay, what about this then? There's, apparently now available £1.5 million apartments available on an exclusive ship which sails around the world.
Yeah, it's like,
What do you make of that?
it's a huge thing, and you live on it, and it's, I mean, in theory,
How big is it?
it's mental.
you know
It's
when-
like
Huge
a
luxury
town
liner.
centre.
Do you know how,
Because-
like, people said that the Titanic was the biggest ship? Was that only then? They've got
Yes.
bigger ones now, haven't they?
Yeah,
A lot bigger.
oil tankers are much bigger, and, yeah.
No, but actual
Liners are big, yeah, it was the biggest then, yeah.
Because my mum told me that there was one that was that big that it had like rough areas on it.
Oh, God!
Don't go starboard.
Oh, God!
No, but do you know what I mean?
Right.
It was like
we're thinking of moving, we're seeing the captain, we're thinking of moving to a nicer area. Oh,
Yeah. I've heard they're very rough in aft.
Oh, God! Oh, that's
They steal your
fantastic.
tyres.
That ship's so big, that was rough areas. Oh.
How big is this one that you're talking about?
Well, I don't know, it doesn't give me the specifications here, but
They're huge. They're huge. In theory, I mean, it's that thing with it's obviously marketing, but they're gonna solve the overpopulation crisis, where soon we'll all just be floating around the sea.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I can see that, because I mean, think about it, right? I've been talking to Ricky about it. I was hoping to buy somewhere in London, but there is no way in this world that I can afford it, right? And you look at all the wasted space, like with the Thames. All it's doing is like collecting crisp packets and stuff and Coke cans, and people have to clean it up. Whereas if you got a load of boats on there,
yeah,
problem solved.
yeah. Would you live on a
problem
boat?
solved.
What's his name did it, didn't he? What's that programme? Is it Bergeron?
Noah. Bergerac?
There was one where he lived on a boat. I think it's quite...
That was shoestring.
Yeah, I'd give it a go anyway.
No,
I'd like to see you, living in the air, maybe in a giant hot air balloon.
Yeah, alright. But, no, the boat thing, because it is gonna get bad as well, isn't it? They're saying that the water's melting or whatever.
The water's melting,
The ice is melting.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be more water and less land, so in the future, it's probably gonna be the way we're gonna be living, isn't it?
Have you seen that film Waterworld?
Nah, I don't fancy it.
Because that sort of predicts that, yeah.
What, are they saying that the ice thing
Exactly,
as well?
yeah.
But at the same time, I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. If you get, I mean, I think I read that, like, a big chunk of ice, fell off one of the ice, what do you call them?
Caps.
Ice caps. Something like that, I think they said it's the size of the Empire State Building or something.
Right.
It snapped off and went into the water, and it's melted. And they're saying, oh, it's bad news, you know, that something that size is melting. But the way I look at it, if something that size falls into the water, it's like a big ice cube, and it's gonna freeze it up again. You with me?
Not really, Carl.
Go on.
Right, you get a giant ice cube, the size of the Empire State Building, stick it in the water, it's gonna make, it's gonna stick back on again, isn't it?
Well, no, only if it freezes up again.
Yeah, well, it will freeze up. The water's gonna get cold again because you've just put a giant ice cube in the water.
So when you put an ice cube in a drink, the drink doesn't freeze, does it?
No,
the ice melts.
If you put one the size of an Empire State Building in your glass of Jack Daniels, it's gonna make it freezing.
It's not going in a glass of Jack Daniels, it's going in the ocean.
I know, but I'm using my fables. Imagine the world.
Use your brain instead!
Imagine the world, imagine the sea, like the Arctic or whatever, as a glass of Jack Daniels.
Okay.
A big ice cube falls into it.
Yeah.
It freezes, it melts back on again. So we're alright, I don't know why everyone's worrying.
God, thank God for that, I was getting panicked.
Oh, fine.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that will happen.
Should we play some more music and then come back to White
Yeah, this is better than ever.
This is dynamite this week.
9 in there on XFM 104.9. We're doing White Van. Carl, got another one there?
Well, it's just your thoughts really on the Queen Mum's very British send-off that she was given this week.
Yeah.
What do you make of all those people queuing up to see her? Did you think that was incredible?
Right. Well, we said last week, you know, there was I don't quite understand why there was so many people there, who were, like, getting really upset. Do you know what I mean? Really upset. Crying and stuff, and you know, you can lose someone who's like related to you, and you don't cry like that. You sort of sit there and you think back to what you did with them and stuff, and then that's it. But the queue thing, wasn't it like miles long and stuff?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Right, I was sat watching this with Susan.
12 hours queuing.
Yeah.
It never got to 12 hours.
It did, but that was the estimated time.
No,
but how long is a queue when they're just like, you know, walking along? Think how far you can sort of like, you know, stagger in 12 hours.
Incredible.
It's been ridiculous.
Yeah. But again, you know, if they want to do that, it's their time and that, isn't it? And it was at the weekend, so they could have, it's not as if they got out of work to do it. No. I mean, they used their own time, so good on them. But I thought, right, what they could have done, remember when I studied Che Guevara?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And don't be offended by this, it was just an idea, because they did it with Che Guevara. Remember when they cut him up?
Yes, they cut him up, yeah.
What was the reason for cutting him up?
Well, they cut up Che in order to try and, you told us that they were going to send bits of his body to Fidel Castro and various other people, wasn't that right?
As a warning, wasn't it, though, to all the people, like, one to...
Yeah, my understanding was that they cut him up in order to, so they could bury him in different places, so that there'd be no shrine, there'd be not one place that you could go to in order to make him into a martyr.
A little bit like that. I've like...
I can vaguely see where this is going.
6 queues, and it's like, number 1, you can, you know, go and pay respect to her head, or whatever.
Oh, God.
No, but I just was thinking the way of speeding it up. I'm not having a go, I'm not, because they haven't done it, so it doesn't matter.
God.
But they did it with Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Everybody would have felt like they've got close to her, and it would have speeded it up.
No, I mean, but I can understand.
Can I just say that genuinely, Carl is not being disrespectful here. This is his best idea to cut down the queues. So don't phone in. He's not suggesting we should have done this. He genuinely is. But I mean, he's not doing it to be nasty or wacky or you know. He thinks this is a good idea. So
can I just throw a thought at you?
Che Guevara, who was like a powerful man, he did a lot for the world and what have you.
Yeah.
And
are you aware that I feel slightly responsible for this, because have you heard of the quote, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve, next one?
No, just a very quick question. I can understand those that have queued for 12 hours to see the head. I'd be a little bit annoyed if I got there to find a toe.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what they could do without chopping her up. They could put about 9 queues, each could see each hip she had.
That's true enough.
Because she's had about 9 of them.
Yeah.
So it'd just be, if you want to see the whole body, it's a 12-hour queue. If you just want to see a couple of the hips.
Here's another suggestion for you, I've just thought, right?
What?
Instead of everyone queuing to see her, why not put her on a trolley and wheel her past everyone else?
Running. So
Yeah, you could have some students on Rag Week, and they can combine it, like when they're always pushing a bed. You know, they could just run it along the queue.
No, that'd be
fantastic.
that'd be disrespectful.
Right, as opposed to the chopping up.
So,
Sure.
Right.
but just an idea.
Just, I apologise now. Anyone's offended.
Anyone offended, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah.
Okay, finally, this is more frothy. Liz Hurley lying low, apparently, at Elton John's house to try and avoid the press now that she's had a child.
That's a good place to go to avoid the press.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, Elton John's house, yeah.
Everyone seems to be friends with Elton John, don't they? Every celebrity's
When
friends
did he
with...
pop into Elton John's house? What, is he running some sort
Well,
of...
it was like when Robbie Williams was a drunkard and a drug addict, he went to Elton John's.
Yeah, and who's the other fellow that went there as well? Was somewhere to, you know, to recuperate and shoulder to cry on. So is he giving out false passports?
I don't know if people have seen his history. He's not the man of, you know, I mean, I know he's cleaned himself up now, but, you know, maybe that's it. Maybe he's got this kind of insight into how to deal with celebrity.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's just genuine mates with him. I think he's just like a friendly
I
bloke.
think she's been doing too much lying low in the first place. That's part of the problem, isn't it?
High five, Carl.
That was a genuine joke from Carl there. And he's so proud of himself. Look at his little face.
Too much lying low.
Oh, that was my
But I
man,
agree
Carl.
with you. Why can't she just go around to her mum and dad's or something rather than Elton John where everyone's looking? Yeah.
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 That's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was good, yeah.
Very good, yeah. Right, what music we got? We got,
Bit of Flaming Lips.
Flaming Lips, excellent. There's the classic Race for the Prize. Should have been big hit. Just playing that Rick for everyone who emails us. We get a lot of emails every week, but obviously don't really respond to them because we're very lazy people. But we obviously appreciate it. And I play that particularly for Claire, who's emailed in saying her friend Sarah Prosser would like some Beatles. We're not going to play the Beatles this week, but Sarah apparently loves us more than words can express.
More than Carl could express.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop you there, Steve. You don't want an advert. Spread your love on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Mitchell. And now it's Carl's bit. It's the re-education of Carl. He's like Liza Doolittle. And now he's coming to, or Lawnmower Man, if you've seen that film. More like Lawnmower Man, if you've seen the film. You'll know what I mean. And his homework was to just study quotes, really, on happiness and stuff and general well-being. He's not a big happiness, quote fan, are you, Carl?
Not really.
So what have you done? You've come up with something, haven't you?
Right, yeah, I told you, right? Because a lot of these are just things you say every day. They're nothing special. So what I'm doing...
Well, you say them every day.
Well, the sort of things you come out with and you don't even think about it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're on the TV all the time. People on the radio are saying these sort of little quotes.
Sure.
And, what I've done is, remember that programme on Channel 4, Faking It?
Yeah.
Where they got some, like, posh kid to be on a door and all that. What I've done, I've,
Imagine if that was the pitch for the show. Dear Channel 4. You're just gonna get a posh kid on a door or something?
Yeah,
Yours sincerely, Carl.
come in. Yeah.
TV producer.
Yeah, go on.
So, what I've done, this little book of quotes, happiness quotes, I've picked 2 that are real.
Okay.
And I've made one up. Right?
And we've got a guess.
And you've got to guess.
Okay, then, go on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, why don't we, when we've heard them, we won't confer.
No.
You'll write down yours, A, B, or C, and I'll write down mine, and we'll see how it
Okay,
works.
Carl, off you go.
Right, and just because I'm looking at this book, it doesn't mean I'm actually reading.
No, I know,
Don't worry, we're clever.
No, we know, we can't see,
I feel like call my bluff.
Yeah, go on then.
Nothing is worth more than this day.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Alright.
Yeah.
The way I see it...
Oh God, my head's gonna burst.
No, hang on.
My head's gonna burst.
No,
Hang
no,
on.
this might not be Carl's.
It might not be.
How do you know I haven't tweaked them a little bit?
Yeah, good
Okay,
point.
fair
Good
enough.
point. No, good point.
The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright?
Alright, yeah.
Okay, well... It's not, yeah.
Come on.
Cat food.
Cat food, come on.
It stinks a bit. But, if you don't put up with the smell, the little kitten will die.
Steve, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Imagine this in faking it. Imagine their faces when he says that, and they're going, "Oh my God." Oh, Carl, play a song, mate.
Oh, we'll have to confer on this one.
Two were real, one was fake. Go on then.
Right. First one. Nothing is worth more than this day.
Excellent. Next one.
What does that mean?
Well, cherish now, cherish your time.
Okay.
Because you can't get it back, and, you know.
That's the way I saw it.
Carpe diem, whatever it is, seize the day and all that.
Okay. If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, rough with the smooth. You know, it's not all plain sailing, but, you know, rainbow's beautiful, but it comes because of the rain, which you might not like, so make the most of everything, and, good.
Cat food doesn't smell good, but if you don't put up with it, then the little kitten will die.
Right, now, Carl, that is a good effort. Now, that one's yours. I mean, obviously, right? Right, no, but it's a good effort, right?
I mean, it slipped seamlessly into the others.
Yeah.
Don't think it didn't.
No, but it's good. I mean, we knew it was that one, but, what I will say is, it's good, but what you don't know, maybe subconsciously, is, I mean, it's very similar to, the putting up with the rain and the rainbow, but that's good.
Why do you think that?
Well...
What does mine mean?
Well, even though it smells bad, it's good for something.
Right, so I didn't look at it like that.
What do you look at that?
I kind of thought...
Was yours more specifically about cat food, generally? Because you know, normally it's an analogy.
Yeah, or a metaphor for something, you know.
Well, no, the way I
mean, Dolly Parton, who I think did the rain thing, she wasn't specifically concerned about weather conditions.
No.
It was a sort of general idea.
Yeah, it was more about life.
Yeah, well, that's what I've done.
Go on,
I've used an everyday thing.
Yeah.
And put it with today's problems, right?
Go on.
So, like, my girlfriend, she might like to go shopping for clothes. I hate it.
Right.
But because I love her, I put up with it.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, you love that little kitten. You can't stand the smell of the stuff, you gotta feed it. But because you love it, you go, well, you know, I'll put up with this just for a few minutes, and then I can, like, squeeze its head later, and give it a little... Sorry, can we go back? You know, stroke its head and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a bit of a slip, was it?
Squeeze its little head.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the thing that I do with cats.
Put it in a bag and drown it in a lake.
I can feed it and then I can throw it against the wall.
Exactly.
So you didn't see it like that, did you?
No, that's very good. So it's about love, is it? It's about putting up with the bad things for something you love.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
But Carl, you seem now to be convinced and rather smug that you've tricked us and that you've fooled us and that we didn't understand it. Well, I say that's your fault, not ours.
No, it's not, though. I mean, look, that man in Forrest Gump, he was a bit of a nutter. And he came up with the life as a box of chocolates thing.
Yeah.
Now, if that was in this book, you say, oh yeah, brilliant, you know, good bit of work. But if he was sat here doing the show with you, you'd be taking the mickey out of him.
Sometimes I feel he is.
No, but, Carl, I could, in fact, if people are out there, we're too lazy, could you write down everything Carl's ever said? Because I think we could publish that.
Yeah.
He said one today, he saw my, salamander, it's not a euphemism, he saw my salamander and it's just sitting there in the tank.
Your exotic pet.
Yeah, and he's worried about there's not being a lid on, and he said, I went, what are we worried about? He said, well, he said it sits there for 24 hours a day, obviously planning to get out.
Well, he's got nothing else on its mind, and it's, the daft thing is, he has actually got the lid ripped up a little bit. Like, it's got nothing else to think about. And it'll be looking up there, and it's going to get out.
But what's the worst that could happen?
What's it thinking? What do you think it's thinking, this salamander?
It's got its eye on the DVD player. I could have Ian be down the market.
Well...
Oh, God!
Are they dangerous?
Can I just say something?
Are they dangerous?
I think the salamander's thinking exactly the same things as you. I mean, to look at you, you've got the same expression on your face. You know what I mean? You're dressed in green as well. You've got a little round sort of Hamburglar type head, like the salamander. Very similar. And yet you know, I think, and you bonded with it, didn't you?
Yeah, but I probably would have tried to get out, but my little paper round bag would just hang on the corner.
Yeah.
Listen, can we have more nepotism on the show? I know that we did that earlier with the
We haven't got long, have we?
We have my housemate. You remember I was working out with him last week to Helen from Big Brother's dance-a-size video.
That's just frightening.
Yeah, we've kind of let that slip a little bit. I've got to be honest. But anyway, he's joined this band. They're called Fujiya and Miyagi. Slightly difficult to pronounce. But anyway, this is a track that I think's been getting some play by Nick Luscombe and John Kennedy on XFM. They got a gig this week at the Pool on Curtin Road. That's 18th of April, Thursday. Let's play it.
Can I just say I've got a fridge freezer for
Admission is free, Rick, so I imagine you'll be heading down there.
Yeah, I will. Well, I've enjoyed this show.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
It's great. It's been great. Carl, any more? Oh, tell that story that you were telling me about your dad when he was driving.
Well, it's just that you were talking about, well, I mentioned Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And, the Forrest Gump types. When my dad was when he was a taxi driver.
Yeah.
You used to have to, sort of do your bit for the local area.
Oh, God.
By taking the Forrest Gump people to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called now, the Forrest Gump people? Is that what the organisations that support them ask for them to be referred to?
A minibus with
exactly.
Life is a box of chocolates.
Yeah, exactly.
.com.
Well,
Forrest Gump type.
It must be, so you work with these people.
It was,
the people with learning difficulties.
And they used to get five.
Coming home must have been a busman's holiday.
So he got 5 of them in the cab.
Yeah.
And they had to go to Blackpool, and 4 of them were really good, you know, behaving themselves, didn't mess about, weren't fighting and stuff, but there was one who was just causing loads of trouble and he couldn't control him.
Oh,
and what you've got to be able to do with people like that, you don't want them to get stressed out because it's not good for them. It stresses them out, and you could end up with a bit
Thanks, Dr. Carl.
you could end up with a bit of a riot on your hands. So he thought, I'll nip this one in the bud right now. And he pulled up just on the outskirts of Blackpool, and he took the one out that was causing problems and put it in a wheelie bin.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
He did what?
Oh,
He did it for the good of the you put it in a wheelie bin, he was having a good time, he thought it was one of the rides.
Can you stop saying it?
Him.
Yeah.
He you know, he was having a good time, and once he calmed down, my dad went back and picked him up, and he was fine, he had a good time.
What, you left him in there the whole time the others were in Blackpool?
No, he left him there, not the whole day, probably about an hour and a half.
In a wheelie bin?
In a wheelie bin.
Why couldn't he get out?
Because, like, his arms were trapped on the thing. It's one of those
What, he tied him up?
No, do you know, like, because he was a big fella, and, like, he managed to get him in so his arms were down the side like that, so he was a bit trapped.
Wasn't he screaming and crying and stuff?
He was making a bit of noise, but, do you know what I mean?
What, you feel served him right?
Well, but anyway, I didn't really want to talk about it, he just brought it up because of Forrest Gump.
Did his, family know about this? Is this the first time they'd have heard about this?
He didn't get asked to do it again. Because he had another problem similar to it where he had a little minibus, and it was his job to take a load of old women to the bingo hall, and it was miles away, and he took him there. There was no problem. About 10 old women in a minibus.
One of them was causing trouble, so he pulled over it.
No, right, so he took him there, everything's fine, he dropped him off, they had a lovely night, right, they had a lovely night, won a bit of cash, coming back, it's a bit of a late night, and they all started moaning at him, going, I want to be dropped off here, take me there, I want to be dropped off first, I've got to get up early, blah blah, you know, my husband's expecting me, I'm already late, take me here first, take me there, and he just pulled up, in the middle of nowhere, said, get out. And he made them get out, and they all called for taxis. They charged that company who was meant to be taking him home in the minibus, and he got the sack. But a similar sort of story. You can't be dealing with it when people don't sort of just calm down and, like, solve the situation.
Yeah.
They're just all like, I want to be dropped off first, take me here first, take me.
Yeah, so he acts like a madman to counter that. This looks good.
Strokes. Someday. No, that was a better choice, wouldn't it, to start off with? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously. Steve Mitchell.
No, come on, let's get my name right from now on. That novelty's worn off.
What is it? Is it
Steve Merchant?
Oh, yeah, that's the wrong one, isn't it, Mitchell?
The Guardian got it wrong, it's Steve Merchant.
And the more I say Mitchell, the more people are thinking
Exactly, it might be Mitchell.
Oh, God, sorry, Dave. But Carl wanted to start off with the Stereophonics.
Oh, loser.
Because it was a newer track. And Carl now, we've made him what he is. He was nothing when we found him.
He's like work experience.
And now he's going, we should start off with Stereophonics. I'm going,
trying to tell you what to do, Rick.
If I want anyone's opinion, I don't. Basically.
He'd probably come to me, I imagine, wouldn't he? I'd be the first person.
Before Carl,
Yeah.
I'd consult you, Steve.
Thank
so
you.
just keep it, just because he was in Pilkington's making music. Pilkington's making, I bet you never pleased a crowd once.
Did. Loads of times.
Go on then, what did you play? What's the biggest gig you ever played?
I did, like a social club gig.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about the music either. I used to...
What else could it be about?
I used to take prizes and cigars and stuff
In a youth club.
to give away.
I just love these, like, 14-year-old manx hanging out going, let's go and have a hey, you might have some fags and cigars for us.
Well, it was whatever, like, was on my mum and dad's dressing table.
That could have been embarrassing, couldn't it?
That could have been deeply embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You've won.
And third prize, some handcuffs.
And a black mamba. I'm not saying that at any point in your upbringing, your parents left around any kind of marital aid on the dressing table. Don't think I'm saying that, Carl. I'm not suggesting. Like, he doesn't like this, does he?
Well, I can understand why.
Oh yeah, because it's about
It's about his parents having sex.
Well, they must have.
Yeah,
At least 3 times.
I think I was an accident.
They
still have had sex.
Wow, Carl. I think it's been ongoing.
Just because me brother and sister are quite older than me.
Yeah, me too. I was an accident. I know that. Yeah. How old's your brother and sister?
I think my sister's about 39.
Right.
And my brother's about 37.
Okay. And you're 29.
I'm like 29.
Right. So yeah, my next one's 11 years older than me.
Yeah.
That was definitely a.
Do you want to have a hug, you two, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're dealing with it now? You got over it?
Well, would you like to see us have a hug? Oh. You had a mobile
rubbish.
disco, weren't
You're
you?
having a laugh, aren't you? Every single gig I did, it's dynamite. The people loved it. It was storming.
What was it
I
called?
ran it from about the age of 14 to 18.
What was it called? Was it called in
The name of our mobile disco?
Yeah.
It had 2 names in its lifetime.
Yeah.
It started its life as, bear with it,
Go on.
the rock and roll DJs.
Oh my god. The rock and roll D's, that's the worst. I mean, that's the worst.
Yeah. That's the most appalling. But then it became pretty bad after that, when it became the Fantasy Island Roadshow.
Why?
I don't know.
Because everyone up to you looked like Tattoo.
Partly that, and because I liked the programme Fantasy Island.
Why did you like the programme Fantasy Island?
Well, it was about love on an island.
It wasn't. It was about a midget on an island.
No, the midget was a minor character. It was about people going to find
It's
love
a
and
minor
romance.
character.
You obviously switched off once the midget had gone off and said, there's the plane. Oh, that's that then. Your parents went, that's over then. It's only 5 minutes long. Yeah, well, it's...
Let's watch that fantasy midget.
Yeah.
What happened then? Because didn't they acted out their fantasies on an
Well,
island?
people would pay to go to the island
Yeah.
to live out their own romantic fantasies, and invariably that's what would
Was it
happen each
always
week.
romantic? It was always about getting
Yeah,
off
it was
with
a kind of
people?
love island, yeah.
Was it?
Well, no,
I
not
don't-
always. Sometimes they might be...
Maybe I didn't watch the whole one. Maybe I did just see him, like, smack a
you
little
probably
tattoo
did.
round the head.
I think you just saw the trailer.
Oh, really?
But,
So what does it sort of go? I've always wanted to have someone in...
Well, no, it might be something like, I've always wanted to sort of, live out, being a gunslinger in a Wild West frontier town, so you might kind of create that
But what's
fantasy.
that got to do with...
Well,
love?
invariably would find love, or he'd sort out some emotional problem he had. It was much more a spiritual, emotional journey than
So,
it was
but
about
basi-
little midgets running around.
But was it like, I'd like to be a cowboy, and, like, Remember the Shag?
Yeah, it was
and
like
while
Jim will
I'm
fix
there-
it. Like those letters you wrote to Jim will fix it. I'd like to meet 5-star, and if something happens, so be it.
Well,
But no, I have to just say once though, this is my DJing credentials. I was once playing, music at a Scout Jamboree.
Yeah.
When I was about 17,
Big
16,
gig then,
17.
big
Big gig.
gig.
There was 1,000 scouts there.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and I tell you this, we were playing on stuff, they were loving it, they were dancing, it was in a big marquee.
Right.
I slapped on Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
Right?
They went mad.
They went
moshing.
mad for it. They were moshing. They were climbing up the poles. The organisers were going, switch that off. Right? They're going crazy. And I was there going, no, that's what they like. I'm going to do it.
It was like Footloose.
It was unbelievable. It was just like Footloose. Then I came in with Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of. The place
You
went
were-
wild.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get me off the decks. It was like Bill Grundy interviewing the Sex Pistols.
And then when the head of them had you killed,
Exactly.
like there was some sort of mafia thing, it was all hushed up, that the scouts went there one night with all candles and they stood by a grave, and that was the end of the film. It was a film, I assume.
No, this genuinely happened.
I assume this didn't really happen.
Yes, it did. I swear to God, I was playing Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it went wild, and the organisers were going, switch that off, they're going crazy, and I was going, no, it's what they want.
Could I say something?
It was brilliant.
That to me, I've known you for about 4 years,
Yeah.
and I've heard all those things. That must be the highlight of your life.
Unbelievably so, yeah.
You've never had anything that good or exciting since, have you?
One day I hope to sleep with a lady, and hopefully it'll slide into second place.
Rock the Casbah.
I love the fact you had at least 3 minutes to get that right.
I know.
Prepare and get that right.
I know, but my mouth was full of Maryland cookies. Yeah. You know, last week, this would blow your mind. He came in, do you know what he'd bought? For himself, about 10 penguins. Who buys penguins still?
I know. Or wagon wheels.
Oh, I've never liked wagon wheels.
You've not been a fan?
No, but I was sorry about that. It's The Clash and Rock the Casbah. Talking about records, have I told you that time my brother-in-law, he was moving out of his place, and I think moving in with my sister, and I was about like, I don't know, 13, and so he was about, 30, and I moved in, and he brought round all, his records when he was storage to leave them at our house. Right, and he had all these old sort of records, 50s and 60s records, no, I was right, and they, put them upstairs, and I was looking through them, and, it's just all like Elvis stuff and Beatles stuff, and there was a mate of mine who loved Elvis, okay, and he had, loads of chemicals, yeah, he had loads of chemicals, and I was into chemistry, and, he said, let's swap me some chemicals for them, so I sort of nicked about 5 Elvis singles, and I got all these chemicals, and then, just guilt.
What sort of chemicals?
Just things like, you know, just things like from a chemistry set, just, you know, crystals and metals and manganese, all that sort of stuff that I just like to muck around with. And then the guilt just hit me. I just thought, well, he's gonna notice that. And one night, I just came downstairs and I confessed to my mum. And she went, alright, well, I won't tell him, but you've got to be good. And it's sort of like I was just really, really good for a year. And then have I told you this? And
No, you haven't. You've just reminded me of something.
And then I remember, when I was about 18, my brother was talking about it, and he said, did you ever, play those records I left for you?
Brilliant.
He told my mum, he said, these are for Ricky. She just didn't tell me.
She was sharp, wasn't she?
She used opportunism there.
Oh, that's genius.
And, that was it. That's why I was good.
But you've never stolen anything since, have you?
No, I don't.
Except that spate of shoplifting after that to teach your mum a lesson.
yeah. Well, I went round, and arson. No, I did. I just couldn't believe it. It was terrible.
I remember, I think all kids go through a phase of shoplifting.
Well,
and when I was going through it, I used to just little things, just like magic markers and, magazines, Mars bars, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
cigars and dildos.
And one day, right?
Same thing.
My mate, Anthony, his mum called up my mum and said, I've got to meet up with you. I've got to have a word with you. And, she said, what about? She said, I don't want to talk about it over the phone. So she goes, oh, right. Well, yeah, come round tonight then. So anyway, my mum sees me, she don't want to be in an awkward position and, like, be a bit embarrassed and what have you. So she sees me and she goes, right, Anthony's mum's coming round. What have you been doing?
Yeah.
So I go, oh, God. I said, I've been nicking stuff. So she goes, like, what? So, not big stuff. I've had a few calculators and, Mars bars and stuff.
How many? I'll just work it out, hold on. Works out at 7.2 per day.
So,
how many calculators do you need?
So it was when that phase.
You failed maths, didn't you?
Everyone wanted a calculator. It was like a trendy thing, wasn't it?
Right.
Oh, yeah. In Manchester a couple of years ago, yeah.
So, anyway, so I told her all this and I confessed to, like...
Computers will make it there one day.
I confessed to...
There's magic in the back of battery. Go on.
Confessed to nicking all this stuff. She comes round, she only wanted to borrow some money.
Brilliant.
She said, oh, I don't like asking, I was a bit embarrassed to ask you over the phone, but can I borrow 20 quid?
Oh, that's fantastic.
And there's me.
That's great.
And it's similar sort of thing to yours.
And did you...
And he went, hold on, Mum, let's just work out the interest on that. I bank 10%. She'll owe you £4.40. Yeah.
So your mum was a loan shark.
yeah.
And did she mention stuff with that other? Because what I'm saying is, presumably you got your mate in trouble.
No.
She went, no worries, I'll just go and get my purse. It's on the dressing table.
Exactly. Yeah.
Carl,
do you want a cigar?
What other things you used to give away at your disco then that you'd find on the dressing table? You used to go into your parents' room and go, what can I give away tonight?
It was stuff like cigars.
Yeah.
I'd like cigars.
Yeah.
I had a pair of tights.
What do you mean?
Unopened. You know, you get them in like a long...
Who did you give that to?
Just whoever did the prize. It was stuff like, you know, we did like a little raffle.
Just imagine Carl going there just for a pair
Who's going joyriding this
Pretty
week?
Polly, sheer. Exactly.
Yeah, who's doing a bank job this week?
Exactly, that's what it was used for, yeah.
Just little bits of, you know, unopened makeup, just stuff like that.
And did their parents not notice?
Well, no, because it's stuff that you're not that bothered about. If a telly went missing, they'd notice it.
They would, wouldn't they? They'd be staring at a wall for 3 days.
But a pair of tights and a cigar and that, got away with it.
Yeah.
But it's funny as well, because like, you had 2 names, I just, like, remembered. I started off as, Dazzling Darren's Disco, just because the first lights I could afford belonged to someone who had their name put in lights.
Right.
So I went along with that
You had
name
to
for a bit.
pretend you were called Darren.
That's lovely.
That's great.
Is it worth it?
Brilliant.
And then it went on to Pilkins making music.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's great.
Anyway, should we have some more music? 'Cause,
Yeah,
we've
go
been
on.
waiting for
What
hours.
are you going to play, Carl?
We've got the Cooper Temple Claws.
Oh,
lined up.
brilliant.
Yes, Steve Merchant here.
Merchant.
Steve Merchant.
Yeah. Okay, don't keep saying it.
And, Carl, obviously, yeah.
Now,
Stop fiddling, Carl.
We've been digging around in Carl's office, haven't we?
As ever, Rick,
He's a little bit nervous about this.
well,
But he doesn't need to be.
I don't think he is,
You just need to
because-
trust us, Carl. Just trust us. Trust us with the music. Trust us with the speech output. Trust us with
Yeah.
That's easy for me to say. Yeah.
but I'm conscious, Rick, that sometimes perhaps we're a little ill-prepared on
Sure.
the show, and I just wanted to make sure that we were sort of keeping ourselves abreast of developments, changes at the station,
You
policy.
said breast.
Thanks. Policies particularly, and I was lucky enough just to stumble across this, and I feel that actually a couple of weeks back we were a little ill-prepared because we
Yeah.
hadn't read this.
Yeah.
This is the XFM information. It's the guidelines, if you will.
Sure.
On how to react to deaths, disasters, and other news emergencies.
Yeah, and there's very important ones like a
important
royal
policies.
death. There's like, you know.
Well, there's
you
certain
have to-
criteria.
you
I
have
mean,
to-
obviously, the general guidelines state that occasionally something will happen in the world that prompts XFM to break away from the normal programming and react to our audience's feelings of shock or grief. As broadcasters, we have a duty to think
They're not
carefully
talking about our show there, are they? They're talking about something happening
No,
there.
all shows.
I mean, no, like people being caused grief, just Carl's on the air.
Right.
You mean like, you know.
I mean, a bigger event.
A royal
yeah.
dying.
A royal dying or some kind of, major disaster.
Sure.
We should be able to tailor our output to show that we feel the same way as the audience in these times of trouble.
Oh, definitely.
That would never involve the station shutting down completely, Rick.
No.
I want to reassure you of that now. And it would never involve playing classical music or stopping all speech content.
Sure. Because they put that in there because a lot of stations, that's exactly what they do.
Exactly.
But, XFM have deemed it, that we don't have to go completely down the line there. We have to do it in
let me
our own
explain
little
why.
way. Go
People
on.
need company at times like this.
Yeah.
And should be able to look to us for both factual information and emotional reaction.
Sure.
We simply have to change our tone and our playlist to show that we're all feeling the same thing.
Right.
Be it, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, or, well, it's pretty sad, but she was 101 after all.
And that's actually in that
That's
document,
what it
isn't
actually says in the general guidelines. That's as they are stated. If you should hear about the death of a major royal,
Yeah.
this is information that...
You're actually reading this, by the way.
Yeah,
aren't
I'm
you?
reading this
Yeah.
out. What you should do is say nothing about this on air under any circumstances. Drop all the ads and promos from your schedule. And if Chris Smith, the news guy, is in the building, get him in the studio immediately.
Yeah.
That's what it says, Carl.
Yeah.
If Smitty is, I don't care where he is, I don't care if he's on holiday,
Let's phone him up now
abroad.
and tell him someone's died.
to see how he would react. Get him down here.
Get him down
See how long
yeah.
it takes him to get down here. Where does Smitty live?
Because I know where he lives. He lives in a cave, and he slides down a pole, and he gets into a car. His butler is up there, and he sorts things out.
I suppose the approach there is that only Chris can deliver this tragic news.
Yeah,
If it was you or I,
yeah, it wouldn't have the same. I remember. Do you remember the XFM as it first started? It launched the day after Princess Diana died.
I know. Yeah.
And I'd never done radio before. I was nervous enough, and it was launched, and it was how.
Because was it the first night? Because what I've forgotten actually until you mentioned that then is of course you used to host your own phone-in show. I'd forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I gave that up after a week because it was just too stressful.
I have never seen a man so petrified.
I know.
He spent all his time preventing people getting through on the phone lines.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't let people come on air.
And for when I had to go on air, right, my mates sort of like came over the first day, and they were mucking around, and I was having a drink with them where I was still working. I was going, I've got to go on air in a minute, and I was like drinking shandy or something because I was saying I didn't want to be drunk and everything. And I kept saying, don't swear. Telling my mates not to swear. They look at me like I was mental. I was going, don't swear, because I'll swear. I was terrified of two things. Just swearing, and operating the desk. I thought, I'm gonna, even if I get through operating the desk, I'm gonna swear. And it just, it was awful.
Didn't you spill coffee over the machine and then go, oh shit? on your first link? I can't remember. But I know it wasn't a triumph.
No, I started off with I was really like the music, and I started off with a classical piece by a bloke called Kuntz, who's a German composer.
Brilliant.
So I knew it was okay.
You're
then.
off. You're
I was off. Yeah.
But and so how did it go then? Because I remember it was appalling.
But Carl, he's a composer. Look it up.
Yeah, I know he is.
Right, 08700 800 1234.
Yeah.
If you know what the composer I'm talking. What?
Yeah, we've done it now.
Chill out, Carl.
Come on.
You know what people are like?
What?
They take things badly, don't they?
Like who? Like what?
You just, it's like a bull to a red rag, whatever.
Yeah, but the thing is that we say bad words and we get in trouble. But I was listening to Heart the other day, and they played Luther Vandross, and that song, was it Never Too Much, Never Too Much? Play it a bit. The lyric in this is disgusting.
It's
just
depraved.
filthy. What a filth!
What is he doing?
Just saying like that. Imagine that. He's got a young girl's picture, and he's going, "Oh, thanks for that." And he phones her up and goes, "What did it say? You know that picture you gave me?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I looked at it just to get me started." That poor young woman must...
I imagine more that, like, she's sleeping, and he just sneaks in and he's got a Polaroid camera, she wakes up, he goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, what are you up to?" He goes, "No, I'm just taking a picture." Well, what? I'm gonna...
we won't be here tomorrow, will you?
Yeah, you're going on holiday tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I need
I
that.
just need something to get me started. What do you mean, get you started? Yeah, you know, in the morning.
And then that's on Heart.
Alright?
6.2.
So don't come on the air and tell us what we can and cannot say. We can't say
classical composers' names or philosophers like Kant.
Exactly.
So don't tell us that, Carl.
Alright?
Just play a record. What you got, Steve?
Some rides, Steve.
Yeah, I just think it's time that we listen to some Ride Rit. We haven't listened to them, I don't know about you and I, but I haven't listened to any for about 6-7 weeks.
Yeah.
Just thought it'd be good to have them on the air again. Yeah. And it's a tragedy they split up. This is the classic Chelsea girl play it.
There was lots of bands at that time.
Yeah.
Sort of the old Britpop thing and the Wall of Sound and... They weren't... Were they shoegazers? Do you think they were, weren't they?
Well, that's what they thought of, because there was a lot of nude lead guitar. But good melodies as well, I reckon that's always important.
It is to me.
I don't know about you, Carl, but it is important to us.
Yeah. We've just had a couple of people, Sarah and Claire, call up and wish us luck for the BAFTAs, but for some reason they want one of us to do an impression of Leslie Phillips.
Can't do it.
Doesn't
he say ding dong?
And hello and all that.
That's not bad.
But I want Carl to do it though.
Yeah, go on, Carl.
Go on. Hello.
Well done. Say ding dong.
Ding dong.
Nice.
Yeah. Do we do any other impressions?
No. I don't think of any.
Hello. Do that.
Hello.
Yeah.
You look like a ventriloquist dummy.
Hello.
Brilliant.
Oh, Carl.
Do, my name is Bond, James Bond, as though it were Sean Connery.
My name's Bond. James Bond. Do that. Go on.
My name's Bond.
No, do it as though you were doing an impression.
Sean.
So I'm trying to be Scottish.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, sort of.
Perhaps a bit more specific than that. Sean Connery.
My name's Bond.
Keep going.
My name's Bond, James Bond.
It's like Jimmy Stewart. It's not like this is the best fun. It's like having your very own Fisher-Price toy for 2 hours a week. It's great. Do Roger Moore. Do that.
Roger Moore.
Phyllis Pierce, Percy Sugden, I'm licensed to kill.
Anyway, she just said...
No, this is a great game.
No, that's
we'll come back to this another time.
Yeah, anything you want Carl to do. Carl's homework today was come up with those, you know those, lateral thinking things?
Go on.
Those stupid...
Oh, I hate them.
They're ridiculous, aren't they? Like a man went into a field and died, and you're meant to ask questions like, oh, was it... And it turns out his parachute didn't open. So it's basically, it's not logic, it's what am I thinking?
Yeah. Well, there's that one where there's a man in... This is the worst I've ever heard.
Yeah.
A man is found dead lying in a phone box... Yeah. Right, his wrists are cut, he's bled to death, and there's glass everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, and the phone's hanging off the hook, right?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I know this, yeah.
Right, do you know what the answer is, Carl?
It's ridiculous.
He was a fisherman.
Yeah.
He was on the phone, someone asked him how big his fish was, he did that gesture like fishermen always do to say it was much bigger than it actually was.
His arms out.
His arms went through the glass, and he slashed his wrists, and he died.
Why would you do that with someone on the phone? When they can't see how big you're actually saying?
Well, that's one of the many problems with that conundrum.
Yeah, not the point we were making, but again, good. I mean, you're there. That is good thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so what, you had to come up with some of these? I didn't know this was his challenge.
Yeah.
Have you come up with one?
I came up with 3, and they're all belters.
Are we gonna,
Oh, wow.
If it's as good as your quote about happiness that we had to guess which was yours and which was the real ones, like faking it, I cannot wait.
I'm looking forward to this.
I mean, I literally can't wait. Should we do it now?
Well, I'm tempted to save it, because I just want to mention to people, that, they should be very excited, because, it's gonna be Karl's special night tomorrow. You excited, Karl?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is, me and Steve, because we were nominated, we get a guest.
For the BAFTA Awards.
And it's, it doesn't say guest, it actually says, partner. So I'm taking, my partner. And, Steve's taking Karl.
Yeah.
But what Karl doesn't realise is, you will have to pretend you're his partner, otherwise you wouldn't be able
we'll
to
have to hold hands when we go on the red carpet.
Is this really your partner? It's not just a guest.
That's how it is, and either we go in like that or we can't get in.
You just have to be with him when you go up there. I mean, does he have to...
We should hold hands, but I think what we should do is, just to make sure that there's nothing at all that, like, is gonna go wrong, we should just do a little kiss.
Just like, or be seen sort of like cheek to cheek, just to show them that, you know, you're not, he's
like
not
Elton John and David
he's not just getting his mates in for a free meal, you are actually partners.
No, I'm not for that.
Why not?
Well,
because we know we're not actually gay.
No, but
so it's not a problem.
You've come out of it looking quite good, because you've got a good-looking fella. But I'm meant to look like, you know, I mean, I'm not gay, but if I was, I don't think I'd go for your thing.
Oh, he's done you, Steve! It's turned on you again!
I cannot believe...
We were trying to get in!
Wait a minute. I have got the cream of London's totty phoning me up, trying to get an invite to the BAFTAs, right? We have very graciously asked you if you would like to come along.
Well, that worries me even more. That you've got women calling you up.
Karl,
I can't choose between them. If I let one of them down, they're gonna destroy them. They'll be ruined, their lives will be ruined. It's better for me to take you and not, you know, ruin the lives of any of those poor women.
When he told them he was taking you, it was like a scene from Graceland. There was just like...
There was weeping.
They were crying, like...
It was horrible.
Hundreds of them. And
really?
He just went... And
I got upset.
He just had to say, look, just chill out, bitches, didn't you?
I did. I just said, you know, you're all my hoes, but I can't choose between you.
So I'm taking Karl.
You
know he could get you discount frocks.
No, I had a letter from the people that there's no, listen, Karl, there's an organisation that sponsors the BAFTA Awards in terms of clothes and fashion. They sent me a letter, they said your partner, they've not specified the sex, they've said your partner can come along and choose an outfit. Now, I suspect, by the look of it, it is a woman's outfitters. I'm thinking we could get you a lovely trouser suit.
Well, it
may look feminine, right, but I think people will be fooled.
It'd just be a little bit roomy in the hip, and probably narrow on the shoulders, but you're a bit skinny. Why don't you take it? Because it's a lot of an insult.
And maybe just some pearls as well. Be lovely.
Wouldn't you?
I haven't got anything sorted to wear yet.
See, you're slagging me off. You're likely to end up going in a tracksuit.
Yeah.
You know? I'm going out today. I've never bought a suit since I was like 11, right? I went to my brother's wedding. That's the last time I wore a suit.
Right.
Really? And you can't get anywhere near it now, can you?
Can't get into that.
No.
That was a good day.
What was it? What sort of suit was it?
It was, like a sort of a grey silver one.
Excellent.
Quite flary.
Nice. We'll try and go for something similar.
Silver one. I just think that with your little round head, what did that look like?
That looks alright.
Like he'd landed from the... just landed on it.
It's like,
they walk among us.
I didn't really need to wear a suit either, because I hardly went into the church. I was in the car park, right? And it's when my brother was in the army, and he had a Ford Capri with one of them horns that goes...
And you just sat there.
Why didn't he come in his tank?
I just sat in that, doing that all day, and the vicar was getting well annoyed with me.
What, when the service was on?
Yeah. It was driving everyone up the wall.
Were you just allowed to do what you wanted when you were growing up? Like Nelson Muntz from The Simpsons? Were you just allowed, didn't matter, was there any discipline? You didn't have teachers, you didn't, why didn't someone come out and...
I got a couple of good hidings off my dad a couple of times.
What for?
Just being mopey most of the time. If I had a strop on, he'd hate that.
He could go out and burn something down or nick something, but don't wander around with your head down.
Well,
didn't he smack you for not liking a castle once?
Yeah.
No, what's that?
Went to Carnarvon the other day, and I was bored. I was at that age when I just wanted to go in an arcade, and my dad was saying, come and see the castle, you know, there's history here, and I still don't like castles. It's one of them things that, again, just too far back to sort of even think about people living in them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I was just like, look, it's a wreck, you know, knock it down, flatten the thing.
Sure.
And I was being really mopey.
Isn't that great?
And it's weird, because now, like, my mum and dad have retired and gone to Wales.
Yeah.
And now and again he texts me there, and every time we get to the point where he gave me a clout, he goes, "You're getting flashbacks, son."
Yeah. Well, it's a sobering lesson for you.
Yeah.
You're not on the British Heritage Committee anymore, are you? This is the National Trust land. Tarmac it. The biggest car park in Britain, for Christ's sake.
So look, you're looking forward to the awards, are you, tomorrow? You better say yes, because otherwise...
No, it'll be alright. I mean, I've told a couple of people and they got like, God, you're dead lucky.
Yeah.
But in a way...
Oh, they're dead lucky. It's like Santa's coming, isn't it?
It's,
the way people talk to Carl, you're a lucky boy, aren't you? Going to the BAFTAs with Steve?
It's just a posh raffle at the end of the day, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
In a sense.
It's, you know, there's gonna be some...
They give away some tights and cigars.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's Chris Tower goes, I went into my parents' house, I found these just lying around.
Oh, but winners and losers, and,
but
and
what
food.
Well, quite, yeah, but what is exciting, surely, is the razzmatazz and the, brushing shoulders with the rich and famous.
I'm not into that.
You're not?
No.
I don't feel you're going to appreciate this like we thought
It's
you would.
weird, because Suzanne said to me this morning, who would you like to meet there?
Yeah.
Is there anyone who, like, you know, you can get close to, and it's like, God, you know, I really admire your, you know, big fan of yours, whatever.
And it's me and Steve, so you're here now.
Well, you know...
I really admire your big fanny. I didn't...
What did you say?
What did you say?
You know, if you're a big fan of it.
Oh, right.
Oh, right, yeah.
And,
sorry.
there isn't anyone, really. Do you know what I mean? I like, you know, you two are alright.
Thanks.
Jonathan Ross, is he going?
He might do, I don't know.
But hang on a minute, I can't help but feel we could have exploited this more. We could have maybe run a competition to let someone win. You know, if you're not going to appreciate it, Carl.
Yeah. Are you going to get a trouser suit? Are you going to get a ladies' trouser suit? I just think then, if you go sort of like looking macho and walking down with him, you know, they know that you're not really partners. And I just think it's a slap in the face for BAFTA.
That's true enough.
No, it doesn't matter what you wear, though. Look at Elton
Can't
John's.
you mince a little bit? Can't you at least sort of walk a little bit mincy? Because you've got such a macho sort of mank walk.
Elton John's fella doesn't look gay and the stuff he wears and that, does he? Do you know what I mean? It means nothing.
No, but that's because Elton's doing the work for him.
No, but...
By dressing as, like, some kind of restoration dame.
Yeah, I love the fact he dresses as Anne Widdecombe for special occasions. That's his hair done like her. That's great.
Anyway, music.
Yeah, this is a very underrated album. It's Richard Ashcroft's Alone With Everybody, and I know it got a bit of a slag and it didn't sell as well as it was because people were going, oh, it's no urban hymns, and it maybe it's not, but he got criticised for being pop, but this is a great tune on here. You On My Mind in My Sleep, and I think it's really good. And there are only 2 more shows.
That's true enough.
And we're away for 3 months. Oh, I'm Ricky Gervais.
Obviously, yeah.
Steve Merchant, little Carl. Now, Carl, his homework was to come up with those stupid lateral thinking problems.
We maybe should give an example of the,
Romeo and Juliet, right? Romeo's asleep on the bed, Juliet's on the floor, covered in water and broken glass. What happened? And you ask all these stupid questions, and it's, Romeo's a cat and Juliet's a goldfish. Again,
awful.
What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on then, Carl.
Right, first one.
Yeah.
There's a bloke lying on the floor, right? He's cut his head, blood's coming out of his head, and all his mates come running up, and they're all stood round him.
Yeah.
And, they don't take their hats off as a mark of respect.
That is outrageous.
Why didn't they take their hats off?
I'm laughing, but it's probably as good as the real
absolutely.
ones.
No, but these are really good.
Did you make them all up?
Yeah.
No, I mean, did you make up all the ones that already exist?
No.
That would make a lot of sense.
Right, a bloke's fallen with his... Yeah.
He's lying on the floor.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
His mates come running up.
Was it important that his head was cut?
I don't know. I mean,
Would it have been okay if he'd have been wearing a hat? He wouldn't have been dead if he was wearing a hat.
What's your answer?
No, you're meant to answer questions. You don't just go, what's your answer? You say, where's the turn, so you go, no, and I have to guess. It's obviously like sort of motorcycle stunt team or a parachute.
Why didn't they take their hats off?
Because they're probably still on the motorbikes or something, or...
Well, yeah, but if you mark a respect to someone, you could take your helmet off.
I'm getting angry!
What? They're parachutists.
Why couldn't they take their helmets off?
Because they're
coming down from the sky.
But he's on the floor dead.
Well, yeah, they can look down and see him on the floor.
Are they on the floor, Carl?
They're on the floor as well.
They're walking, are they?
Yeah, well, they sort of stood there looking at him.
They're stood there.
Yeah.
They're stood on the floor looking at him.
They're soldiers.
Why? But why? If
Because it might be in a battle zone, they might have their helmets on, and he's been shot in the head.
No.
Well, that does work. You see, this is my point. That one works. That one works. Unless you've given us a piece of information where that doesn't work. What's the difference? Why is yours different to, he's been shot in the head in the trenches, and they're looking at him and they keep their helmets on?
I just don't think it matters as much. If they're in the trench, they're already guarded a little bit. So they could take their hats off. It's the best mate, for God's sake.
Okay, who's dwelling on this? Are they normal hats?
What kind of hats are
Give me
they?
the answer.
No! Don't get ratty!
What kind of hats are they? Baseball hats?
If I told you what sort of hats they are, you'd have the answer.
Wow! Okay, I've got to guess what sort of a hat it is then, have I?
Right.
Is it a trilby?
No.
Is it a bowler?
I know what it is.
What?
They're spacemen.
No. Oh, that's a good
That
one.
one works as well. This is my point.
I like that one a lot.
It works. He's fallen on the moon, and not that the moon happened, it was set up, wasn't it, in the studio, we know that, yeah. Okay, Carl, what's your answer?
Builders on a building site.
Why is that different to soldiers?
Because bricks don't fall in wars.
But bullets fly!
Right, next one.
No, let's play a record and we'll come back to it, Carl, while you think about what you've done.
Oh, yeah. You've embarrassed
Let's play
yourself.
some classic Suede.
Yeah, and this is for David and Kieran, I think, who wanted a bit of Butler at his best.
Come on, crack it on.
I hate you, Butler.
Coming next, your next, lateral problem number 2. Brilliant.
Suede there.
Indeed.
I think their second or third single.
Brilliant.
All the way back. 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Metal Mickey. On XFM 104.9.
Was it 10 years ago?
Must have been, mustn't it?
Wow.
I think, was Drowners 91? I think so.
Crumbs.
Yeah. Go on.
Right.
Go on then, Carl.
Second one then. This is a bit easier, but I still think it's a good one.
So this is, we should explain what this is if you've just tuned in.
It's one of those stupid lateral thinking problems.
That Carl himself has created.
Yeah, that was his homework.
Right, this one. It's a fella. He has a normal day doing stuff. Nothing wrong with him. Right. And
It's the twist in the Towers. It's just like Towers the Unexpected. Just a normal day, nothing wrong with him. Hold on, though, he's got the legs of a fish. Go on.
So,
that's what he's been hiding his legs.
so
Go on.
he does his
The
normal,
legs of a fish.
Sorry, Carl, carry on.
He has his working day and that,
Yeah.
and then he gets a bit tired. Goes to bed. He puts the light on, leaves it on, goes to bed.
Oh.
That's crazy.
That's mental. I can't think what's happened. Anyway, here's Radiohead. Right, okay. The question is, why does he put the light on when
So
he's
a
going
man,
to bed?
he's had a normal day, he's come home from work. Is that right, he's come home from work or he's not been working, he's just been out?
No, it's been working and stuff, I think.
You think? You've made it up, Carl, you can decide.
So is the question is, why has he put the light on when he's asleep? There's a reason that he's put the light on when he's asleep.
Has he gone to sleep?
No, Carl, don't shrug. You're meant to answer these questions.
He put the light on before he went to bed.
Yeah, and the question
And
you're
he's
asking
gone
me
to
is
sleep.
why? What's
And
the
he-
scenario?
And the light's on and
Yeah.
that, but he's gone to sleep.
Yeah.
He started reading and then he fell asleep.
No.
Did he intentionally, for some reason, put the light on?
Every night. It's mad. Sounds mad.
That's Carl, doesn't it?
Every night he does it.
Yeah.
He puts the light on when he goes to
light on
sleep.
it. Mad.
Carl, is the point of this, he puts the light on for a very good reason.
Not for us, but for some people.
He's blind and it's always been on, and he thinks he's turning it off, but it was on in the day, and he thinks he's turning it off, but he's turning it on because he's blind.
That'd be stupid.
That works.
No, that works great, Rick.
Yeah. Thank you, Carl. So you've got to come up with one.
Hang on. If
What?
you're blind, why would you put a light on?
No, he thinks it's off.
Yeah.
But why would he turn it on anyway?
Just think so he doesn't get burgled, so people know he's in, because he can't see him, so he just, he puts the light on when he's there, then he turns the light off when he goes to bed, so people think it's fine. But he's got it out of kilter, and actually he's walking around in the dark all day.
I don't believe that if you're blind, you turn your light on.
I don't think you'd be living on your own, would you?
I'm not having that for a
Do
second.
blind people live on their own?
For a second. Oh, some people do. Lonely blind people live on their own.
No, if you got bad eyes.
Any of them women? Are there any blind women who are living on their own, Rick? No, I mean, if you know of some blind women.
Oh wait,
living on their own.
700, 800, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've gone through this.
If you are a blind woman
with no standards and you don't care annoying voices and smell,
Yeah.
then get in touch with you.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be within the ages of, say, 25 to 65. You know,
Right.
well, call it 75.
I see it. You fussy all of a sudden.
I know.
Yeah, go on.
If you were blind, would you live in London? Because someone said yesterday there was one struggling outside in Leicester Square, and I don't understand. If you were, I mean, you know,
Might have been a tourist.
but why come to London if you're blind? It's the worst place in the world to come if you're blind.
To hear the sights.
To hear the sights.
It's a bit mad, isn't it?
Well, they have they do the same job.
They have tourist needs like anyone else.
Yeah.
No, but it sort of stinks, and you'd go away going, oh, it's not that good. I just thought that, I thought it was a bit weird.
Well, never mind your concern for the partially sighted or sight impaired people coming to London. Get on with this.
Yeah. So there he is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, a bit tired.
Yeah.
Just put the light on, get to bed.
Yeah. So he turns the light on and he goes to bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Should we play a track?
He's not sleeping on the job. He's a lighthouse keeper.
Well done.
Is he a lighthouse
That's
keeper?
not it, Carl.
He's a lighthouse keeper.
Right. Why wasn't the light on all the time?
It's light in the day.
You idiot. Play a record.
What?
Play a record. You're a buffoon.
No, actually, the light isn't on in the day, is it?
No, it's not.